This video will probably make you feel a little uncomfortable. It should. But try to imagine how uncomfortable you'd feel sitting at home in a wheelchair, permanently disabled by an accident, shut out, rejected, forgotten. Accidents are nothing new. They happen to millions of Canadians just like you every year. Many of them result in permanent disability. When that happens, we look after your medical needs and sometimes we rehabilitate you. But all too often, we send you home and let you sit on the sidelines watching the rest of the world go by. We don't think about you anymore because we can't see you. You've vanished. You don't exist. It's a tragedy, and everybody loses. You lose a good income and a contributing place in society. Your workplace loses a valued employee, not to mention a bundle in compensation, insurance, and lost time. Your union loses the productive capacity of its membership. The government loses the taxes you used to pay, and they fork out a fortune in pension and sickness benefits. Not a very good deal for anybody, is it? To put it in even sharper focus, here are some facts that should alarm you. The cost of long-term disability in Canada is in excess of $20 billion per year. Of the disabled people now available for work, well over 50% are unemployed. Of the disabled people who are working, only 6% have had accommodations made for their disability in the workplace. And 60% of Canadians with disabilities live below the poverty line. Staggering, isn't it? And it's a burden that we all bear. But is there a solution? Yes, there is. We must take the necessary steps to put people with disabilities back to work as soon as possible. It's not easy for anybody. Changes have to be made to the job, the working conditions, and to our ways of thinking. For the disabled worker, too, it will need a positive attitude and a supreme effort. But it can be done, and the benefits are truly phenomenal.
Dial.
Number, please.
6
6
4
4
9
9
9
9
5
5
3
3
But
9.
how do we know all this is possible? Well, the fact is that employers, unions, and governments in other countries have already taken these steps. Australia, Germany, and the United States are very progressive in this field. They've seen the problem and tackled it head on.
Going to match them up. Now, what do you want to do? Do you want to put the wing on, or do you want to go with the wing?
In Australia, the ComCare system puts the emphasis squarely on return to work. Each employer has a case manager, and the disabled worker is also closely involved in the process. In Germany, each workplace is required by law to employ a certain percentage of disabled workers. There are penalties for non-compliance. It works. In the United States, the Americans with Disabilities Act guarantees all Americans access to employment. Employers must make reasonable accommodations to any qualified employee, including people with disabilities. To be fair, Canada too has taken some steps. Some governments have passed laws which help to some degree. Some unions have built return-to-work provisions into their collective agreements. And some enlightened employers have seen the wisdom of implementing disability management programs. But it's scattered, uncoordinated, simply not enough.
These things are neat, these things. They swing.
It will take close partnerships of government, industry, and labor to pull this thing together, and a major commitment. Not to talk, but to act.
Okay.
Perfect.
Set.
Good stuff.
Good.
But why should we do it? Well, our greatest motivation for getting disabled workers back into meaningful work has always been simple human concern. We all need to make a contribution, to feel good about ourselves, pay our own way. And we want the same for our fellow human beings. But there's another vital reason for getting disabled workers back on the job, and it's a huge one. Money. The fact is, we'll save money by keeping disabled workers employable, rather than wasting their potential by having them sit on the sidelines. And here's the proof. Some very compelling studies show that getting disabled workers back on the job will actually cost a great deal less than putting them out to pasture. Let's put the problem in more concrete terms. Take a medium-sized company engaged in manufacturing. It has 10,000 employees. Statistics show that commonly 5% of them will be off the job 6 months or longer on compensation or long-term disability. The cost could be $10 million a year in premiums alone. On top of that, there's the enormous expense of lost production. And of course, the cost to the disabled workers' families is immeasurable. But there's a choice. The employer can just pay out that money in compensation, insurance, replacement staff, training, and all the other costs of a disabling accident. Or, employer and union can establish a disability management program aimed at getting disabled workers back into suitable jobs as soon as medically feasible. That may mean special accommodations like a new washroom or a modified parking space, advanced technologies, updated training, or furniture adapted to the particular worker's disability. Perhaps just modifying the job specs. These things will cost money, of course, but the cost will be small compared with the direct savings in financial, economic, and social costs. Then, there are the indirect savings like morale, public image, and so on. The whole idea simply makes good economic sense to all the parties involved. We used to regard disabled workers as charity cases. We pitied them, so we'd excuse them from working. Now, all too often, we see them as impediments to production, and we prevent them from working. We must realize these are serious mistakes. We must get disabled employees back to work. We can't afford not to. They need to be self-sustaining contributors to our society. Their place of work needs their skills and productivity. The government needs to reduce the economic and social costs of disability. All three in partnership must make it happen. We've talked enough. Now we act. Now we take the final step.